Hey guys, welcome back to Casks-n-Que, or Whiskey and Barbecue Meat. I'm your host, Justin Lloyd, and today we're doing beef ribs, so be sure and stick around. All right guys, what we have here are some USDA choice grade beef ribs that we picked up at Costco. And I've just been dying to get into these guys. So beef ribs sometimes are known as DINO bones in the barbecue world. They're those real big beefy ribs that you sometimes see, especially in Texas. As you see, these are just huge, man. I mean, they're ginormous. Look at these things. So you have 1, 2, 3 bones. Same on this one. It's just a large cut of meat. It's kind of like brisket on a bone, and that's the way we're going to treat it today. As you can see, there's a membrane on the back of these bones. Beef ribs are a lot different than pork ribs. The membrane, by keeping the membrane on, we're going to allow the ribs to stay together. It kind of holds the ribs together as they cook. Because on the meat side, this is going to all draw in. You're going to have bones exposed on both sides. So we want that rack to stay together while we're cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is flip these ribs over, because we're not going to do anything on the back, on the bone side. As you can see, there's some silver skin right in here. So we need to do some trimming. So that's where we're going to start. We will remove some fat, but that's okay. There's a lot of internal fat, as you can see right in here. Really good marbling. I'll get a closer shot of that. So anyway, let's get to trimming. We want to be careful not dig too deep into the beef rib. We don't want to get rid of meat. We want to get rid of silver skin. And inevitably, some of that is going to, come out. Some of the meat is going to come out, but that's okay. So something like that is totally fine. Real thin. Just work your knife at an upward angle. Don't ever go in like this. Kind of keep it at an angle where you trim up. Just like that. So we're going to hit this with some Worcestershire sauce, just acting as a binder, and adds a little bit of flavor. No reason to do the bone side. You're not going to be eating from that side. Like I said, this adds a little flavor, but mainly it's acting as a binder. Just want to make sure that the rub does adhere to the meat. I don't want it sliding off during the cook or something like that. So as far as the rub goes, my trusty proprietary blend, which is coarse ground pepper, coarse salt, and some other stuff. We'll hit it pretty hard. We want some bark to build up on these guys. It's a big old slab of meat, and it can handle it. All right guys, as per usual, we're throwing these on the Blaze Kamado. We're rocking some cherry wood. We're gonna throw these guys on. We're gonna cook about 250, 275, somewhere in that range. And we're just gonna check it after about an hour. We're not gonna open the Kamado at all. We want these guys to get a lot of smoke at the first part of the cook. We'll be right back. All right, beef rib number 1, we'll put right there. Beef rib rack number 2, right here. See how big those are? This is a 21 inch grill. It's Fills up almost all the space. We'll let those take a cherry smoke nap and we'll be back. All right, folks, we're back. It's been about an hour. Oh man, it's smelling really good already. Let's see what we got here. As you can see, we got some pullback on the bones already. It's looking really good, smelling good, good color. There's some more pullback on the bones. All right, so let's go ahead and hit these ribs with a 50-50 mix of apple cider vinegar and water. You want to make sure you get the edges so they don't crisp up too much. This is going to help just slow down the formation of the bark to where it doesn't get too crunchy. We're going to let these sit for about another hour, maybe even an hour and a half, and come back and check it. That's why I'm hitting it with a lot of spritz, whatever you want to call it. Oh, it's going to be so good. We'll be right back in your time. Okay, we're back. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. Let's see what we got. Woo, getting some pullback. The bones are exposed. Smelling awesome. The bark is not quite there, but it doesn't need to be spritzed because we still got moisture. So anyway, I'm gonna let this go maybe another hour and check back. So stick around. Hey, what's up guys? Hey, earlier in the video I mentioned that we were going to use a new tool today, and that new tool is the Meatstick X. Meatstick was gracious enough to send me this in the mail. They wanted me to try it out and kind of compare it to some of the other thermometers that I've used in the past, so that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna put it through its paces. We got the beef ribs on, so it's about time to start seeing what the temperature is on those racks, and we're gonna use this to do that, so let's unbox it. All right, so here we have the Meatstick in its box. This is the way it came. Full disclosure, I went ahead and opened it already just so I could kind of know what to expect. It required about 4 hours of charging. 2 AA batteries did the job. Already I could say that I would prefer this to plug in so that I don't have to buy batteries to charge it, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed and see what it looks like. So it comes with a nice little thank you note. It gives you their support email address in case you need to ask them a question. Comes with a little Meatstick Champ $5 off coupon deal and some free swag. So I've already done a few of these steps, just getting it ready. You download the app on your phone. I'm using my phone to record this, so I can't really show that to you, but I'll do a screen grab and put it right there. Okay, so batteries go right here, 2 AA's. You click that button and the green light comes on, and that's how it charges. One of the things that mentioned in the instructions are to make sure that when you put the probe in, that it goes all the way to the ceramic piece right here. You don't want the meat, or you don't want the probe to stop like right there. And I have seen some other Bluetooth thermometers, and one thing I noticed about this one right away is that it's sharp. So that's kind of a plus in my opinion. I've seen some that kind of have a blunt end. All right, so now we did the batteries. Press the button on the charger, activate the stick. We did that. Select the stick in the app and choose your desired cook. Our ribs are looking really good. So per the instructions, we're gonna slide this right into the meat. So that's where we are, all the way up to the ceramic piece. So we're gonna let that monitor the temperatures and we will return. Let's see what we got with these beef ribs. Oh yeah. The Meatstick is doing its job. The bark is setting nicely, as a matter of fact. We got enough pullback on the bones. That's looking real good. So at this point I think we're gonna get these guys off the grill and wrap them up in some butcher paper. We'll be right back. All right guys, it's time to get those beef ribs in this butcher paper. I use the large size. I'll put that in the link below in the description box so you know what kind I buy. Get the length about the size of the table here. There we go. Nothing to it. Put that over there to keep the butcher paper flying away. Dogs barking as usual. So let's take this out. We'll reinsert that in just a minute. That's what we're working with, guys. It's looking great. So for good measure, we're going to hit it again with the apple cider vinegar. Wrap her up. Nothing to it. Fold the end. Cover the meat. Make sure that seam is nice and tight. Pull it nice and snug. Wrap it again. There we go. Nothing to it. Easy peasy. Reinsert the probe about right here. Throw that back on the cooker and repeat the process. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. So these beef ribs are ready. The Meatstick did a great job of notifying me when my cook was ready. It sent me an alert that said that the brisket slices were ready, and I set it to go off, I think, at 2:01 instead of 2:03. So it went off at 2:01. It said the brisket slices are ready. The only reason I picked brisket slices is because there wasn't a drop down for beef ribs. Beef ribs are so close to brisket that I figured that would be just fine. So we're really just looking for the temperature anyway. I guess it doesn't really matter which you select. But so far I'm real impressed with the Meatstick. We're gonna go ahead and get these beef ribs off. We're gonna let them rest here for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so. I got some other barbecue items, some side dishes that are still cooking inside. My wife's taking care of that, Miss Casks-n-Que. And we're gonna wait for that to get done, and then we're gonna slice into these guys and see how they turned out. Stick around. All right, guys, got these beef ribs pulled off. I think you can see some of the juices coming out right there where the Meatstick was in the beef rib. We're gonna let these rest for a while. They smell awesome. Like I said before, we have some other side dishes that are cooking inside. Once those are done, we'll open these up and see what we got. All right, guys, it's dinner time. We're gonna go ahead and get these beef ribs unwrapped and see what we're looking like. Yum. All right, so these have rested a little over an hour. Should be good to go. Let's slice in and see what we got. As you can see, that membrane held the beef ribs all together, so I think this one looks good. Looks delicious, nice and juicy. Just falling off the bone. Juice is running out. So there you have it. That's beef ribs for you. It's a great barbecue item. Easy to cook, just like a brisket. Just take care of it the same way, and you'll get some great results. Hey, if you like what we're doing over here at Casks-n-Que, be sure and like, subscribe, and smash that bell. It helps this channel out a lot, and we appreciate you. We'll see you next time.